My name is Elizabeth Hawley, and I graduated 2025. It was a really beautiful experience. I had never known community and studies that blended so well together that this program fostered, especially with the classes and the professors intentionally being involved in the students' lives, caring about what we were learning and loving the material so much that we began to love it just as much. I think it was at the beginning of the year when I think it was the very first class, and it was pouring rain, and the lights went out, and it was in that room, and Mr. Pihors, we just talked about like who we were and like beginning to look into Plato and all his, again, talking about Plato's book in the dark, and we had like flashlights in the middle of the table, and it was just really sweet as like a kind of opener, like knitting us all together, like this really cool experience that we had at the beginning. Yeah. I think what I appreciated the most and learned the most that has stayed with me is I am an individual being who has boundaries and can grow in different ways, such as like confidence, which was the really big thing for me, being out on my own independence-wise and being able to have like friends outside of my family and being able to pursue education well. I'm a pretty introverted person, and so making executive decisions by myself, like I'm going to take this time to intentionally look into this subject and write this and spend time with people, making what was the most important thing. Studies are important, but also community is important. And what was I going to make time for and be okay with if I chose something different. Definitely providing community, as I've said before, because I didn't have much of that to such a degree. We were living together, we were studying together, we were always like, we had these little pockets of community here, and that is something, I think. So I went to camp with a couple of my classmates, worked for about 2 months there, and we just came back this weekend for a wedding for my RA, and that was pretty special, just being able to keep up and have those relationships. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That books are cool. Yeah, and conversation is cool. It's something that needs to be pursued, and I think that's what this program does well. I went to classical conversations, okay, and they instilled like a lot of public speaking, a lot of British literature, American literature, writing essays, and this kind of just went to a deeper level that I was ready for. Socrates' Dialogues was something I read in school, and so reading Plato's Republic transitioned well, because I knew what the dialects were and what they were talking about. Definitely bridged the gap to where that ended, to where college needed, like my preparation for college needed to start. I would say to someone wanting to join the Crux program that it will be hard and challenging in different ways. To listen to your professors well, and even if even if you doubt, like, is this the best thing that they're telling me, and you complain and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, that they really have your best interests at heart with what they're giving you to study and learn, because they love you and they want you to grow and be stretched. I believe the most valuable thing I took away from this experience at Crux was that, yes, education is important, and yes, community is important, but I am also a child of God, and this program understands that, and the people here understand that, and that I think is the most important thing that we can take away in our lives. And it just solidified that this year. Just God loves you, and He wants the best for you. Giving me the opportunity to come here was a big answer to prayer. I'm grateful for the people that I met along the way. I went to the Worldview camps before I came, and one of the staffers encouraged me to pray about it and look into it, and she's become one of my best friends, and I'm really grateful for how God's used all that in my life, especially from this past year.